So let's see about passing arguments to function using pointers. The calling function sends the address of the variable and the called function must declare those incoming arguments as pointers. Calling function, what makes calling function? Sends the address of the variable and the called function must declare those incoming arguments as pointers. In order to modify the variable sent by the caller, the called function must dereference the pointers that were passed to it. Thus, passing the pointers to a function avoid overhead of copying data from one function to another. So here is a simple example. Inside the main function, we are declaring a variable num1, num2, and total. Now, enter two numbers. What happens here? Num1, num2, num1 and num2 we are entered. Now, using a sum of function, so num1 and num2 we are entered. So what happens after that? So in the main of function, two numbers are taken from the user. The sum function is then called, and with the address of these numbers, num1 and num2, and an additional address of the total. Okay, additional num1 and num2, and the additional address of total. Inside the sum function, what happens? The values pointed by A and B. Okay, the values pointed by A and B. It's like addresses of num1 and num2 are added and stored in the address pointed by T. Okay, here it's there. Okay, this is A, B. Num1 and num2 are stored and stored in T. Okay. So this is an example for that. Okay. Now total is total. Okay. Total is what? The total will print. Okay. So finally it prints the value of total. Here is the sum of function. So how to calculate the sum of function? This is int a represent the num1 and int b represent num2 and this is total. Okay. So both num1 and num2 added and store it in T. Okay. This is about passing arguments. Okay. Then next we have pointers and array. So pointers and arrays have like so this is using pointers in array. Okay, how to use the pointers in an array? Let's see about that. Int arr 5 or 5. So this here one-dimensional array is declared. Okay, and initialized with the 5 values. Okay, a pointer. Here is a pointer is initialized with the address of the first element. So this points to the this one. Sorry, this points to the first element. Okay, and the pointer is incremented using ptr what plus plus. Pointer is incremented. The value of the second element of the array is ptr. So ptr points to the second element of the array, and star ptr means it's 2. So the output of this program, small program, is 2. Okay, now let's see another program. Write a program to read and display an array of n integers. So here we have int main of int in, and we are declared one is array. Okay, array of size 10 and pointer par. Okay, and pointer par. So par means what happens here? Par is equal to ARR means it points to the first location of the array. Okay. Next, enter the number. Now it will ask user to enter the n numbers. Okay. So the user has to input the number of elements n in the array. So for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So what happens here? The user will allow to enter the elements okay, up to n numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I is until I is less than 3. So user will enter the numbers to arrays. Then for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Here what happens? So this is like until three numbers. Okay, until three numbers. For example, the output of this ARR of 0 is a par plus I means what happens? It's the value of pointer. So ARR of 0 means it will print the first value. ARR of 1 means it will print the second value. ARR of 2, it will print the third value. Okay. The first part shows how to use the pointer to access the element in an array. And the second part demonstrate how to read and display an array from the integers using pointers. Okay.